need you to breathe. Remember where I come from. Every time you get a chance, I need you to breathe. I need you to breathe. Breathe. Oh, breathe. I need you to breathe. Breathe. Remember where I come from. Every time you get a chance, I need you to breathe. 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 Breathe.
So I thank God for that. And then I needed it. We spent a lot of time to get together yesterday. Amen. Let's jump into this word. Let's jump into this word. We're living in a time where everything is fast. Everything is fast in life. Is there any guests over here? I didn't catch the guests over here. Any guests over here first time? Okay, I'm looking for you because I like talking to our guests. So we're living in a time where everything is fast. We like fast answers, fast moves, and then we like fast exits. We like fast so much that we get Uber Eats because we don't want to leave the house. We want it to come to us. They now have this thing where you can order food fast, and they'll send it with a drone. Ski sent me that, and I'm watching a video of the drone dropping his food. We like stuff fast to come to us, and we don't have to make moves. But faith is not proven in fast moments. It's proven over time. Anything that's good, it took time to make it. I always like to say a diamond, they didn't just put it in there. No, it had to be burned. It had to be put through the fire. Then it becomes a diamond, one of the precious things we wear all the time. What does it look like to really stay with God? What does it really look like? Not when everything is perfect, but when it's not. When temptation is over you and you don't know what's going to happen next. What does it really look like? Not when it's clear, the sun is shining, everything is perfect, life is going the way we think it should be going. But when it's confusing, I don't know where my next is coming from. Don't know how I'm going to make it. Not when it feels good, but when it feels heavy. When it feels like a weight. I want to know, can you stay? So go to 2 Timothy. Give 2 Timothy 4, 6 through 8. 2 Timothy 4, 6 through 8. And I got excited about this, y'all. I got excited about this. Thank you, DJ. I got excited about this in reading this. When you have it, say amen. If you need more time, say, give me a second. Okay, or look at the screen. It's right there. Bam. Y'all like, why they got all these screens? For the slow folk who move, if y'all like me, if you wave at the top, you looking at Genesis, you just look at the screen. That's why we bought this big old screen, just so it'd be ready for you. Here's what it says, for I am already being poured out. This is Paul speaking. For I am already being poured out. That excited me right there. For I am already being poured out as a drink offering, and the time of my departure is at hand. Leave that right there because I got to pause for a second, y'all. And thank you for standing for the reading of the word. Let's stand for the reading of the word. Thank you, y'all. I see y'all back there. Those are just, they churchy, you hear me? As soon as I said 2 Timothy, I saw Nicole jump up. I'm sorry, but I had to pause right there for a second, Pastor Meach. I'm tell you why. Paul is saying, for I am already being poured out. Now pay attention. I'm already being poured out. That messed me up. If you just read that first line, for I'm already being poured out as a drink offering. The key word is offering. That stood out to me. Do you know what this man was enduring at the time? If you don't, I'm going to tell you, he was going through some things. He wasn't at home with the air conditioner on in his recliner chair, watching his 65-inch screen TV, smart TV. He was in a prison being persecuted, and his mind and heart is still on the things of God. Okay? And we can't even get to church on time. We won't even come to Bible study. You got a good job. Everything going good. Life is well. Or you broken. But Paul is in a place of being broken, still thinking on the things of God. I got a headache today. I can't go to church. Somebody shut the curtains. I got a migraine. But your healing is right here. I can't go today. I'm hurting today. What happened? Last Thursday, my boss just pissed me off. So I can't go to church on Sunday. Think about that. And your boss don't even go to the church. But we being persecuted. You ain't coming to church because what your boss did on Thursday. Can't go to church because my boyfriend and my girlfriend broke up with me. I can't go because they know what he did and know how he treated me or how she treated me, and I don't want to be in the presence of people. What's wrong with us? What's wrong? I'm sorry, I got to say this. The shoe fit, wear it. If it don't, stay away from it. You weak, unsettled, perverted, filled, disappointed generation. That's who we have become. Won't live for him. Ignore that he died for us. Right? Okay, I'm sorry. Let me get back to the text. I didn't mean to go off on nobody. But it's the truth. We put our own needs over God's needs. He has need for you. Let me get back to 2 Timothy 4:6-8. For I am already being poured out as a drink offering, and the time of my departure is at hand. I have fought the good fight. I have finished the course. I have kept the faith. Number 8 says, in the future, he ain't talking about right now. He's going through right now. But he's already excited about the future. In the future, there is laid up for me the crown of righteousness, which the Lord, the righteous judge, will award to me on that day. I already know I got riches. If I never get it on earth, I already know I got it in heaven. That's what he's basically saying here. And not only to me, but also to all who have loved his appearing. You may be seated. All who had loved his appearing. So today my topic for this message is, tell your neighbor to your left and the right, look at your neighbor and say, neighbor, say you look good.
You look good.
You look good. Look at your other neighbor and say, you look good.
You look good.
Tell them they smell good. Now, if they don't smell good, you don't have to lie. Just look at them and nod your head. And I can see y'all, so I know if you don't smell good, you get to going, is that me? Today, the title of my message is, tell somebody, finish strong.
Finish strong.
Tell your other neighbor, say, finish strong. Finish strong. Finish strong. Thank you, DJ. This is Paul writing his last letter. It's his last and final letter he's writing to Timothy, not just as a young pastor, but as someone who has to carry the faith forward. So I have to make sure I tell Timothy everything because I'm at my end. And when a man knows his life is coming to an end, he doesn't talk about temporary things. I remember when I used to play football back in the day. I remember when I had a high top fade. You couldn't tell me nothing. All the ladies wanted me. Why are you talking about that when you about to die? You remember when I used to have them gators, the match? I used to kill them, didn't I, Pastor Abby? What does that got to do with anything? Right now, if you know this is the last letter I have to write to my family, to my church, I need to be saying, listen, all of the insurance papers is here. If you never know what's going to happen next, what did I leave in your life for you to do? You stay strong. You keep moving. Don't you get stuck nowhere, because I won't be here to hold your back. Hold your head up any room you walk into. You're supposed to be leaving charges. So this is what Paul is doing. So Paul's not trying to impress Timothy here. He's trying to anchor him. Because Timothy is leading in a hard time. False teaching is going on. It's showing up at the time. Pressure is building. Culture is shifting. And we say this all the time. If you don't set culture, culture will set itself. That's why now I got a thing now. No more church without change. That's our culture here. No more church without change. You come in here smoker, you got 3 months to be smoke free. If you come in here, you got 3 months to be broken free. No more. Why? Because we should see change. Who do you know that goes to the hospital and decide they just want to live there? You know, I feel sick. I'm just going to go to the hospital. And then who do you know that goes to the hospital when they say we give you there's a diagnosis, you have this. I ain't got that, and I ain't, no, you have that, but the good thing, there's a cure for it. What's the cure? Well, you have to start eating vegetables. No more sugar, no more fried foods. You're taking everything I love away. Well, and then also you have to take this pill. I'm not doing that. That's what a lot of us do. How you gonna go to the doctor and tell them you something wrong? No, you lying. And I know your faith is strong, but the truth is, no, you sick. But here's the thing, there's an antidote for that sickness. So why do we come to church and we say your healing is in the room? You don't have to leave here broken. Joy is in the room. Favor is in the room. God is in the room to heal your situation. You should never stay sick. You actually should get healed, come broken, get healed, then go tell somebody else where you got it from so they can get healed. All right, let me get back to, I veered off a little bit. Here's what Paul knows why he's writing this. If you don't have stamina, you won't last. And I'm telling y'all that today, church. You can leave Breathe ATL today, go to another church, or don't go to church at all. But here's the truth. If you don't have stamina, you will always be like, why am I going through this? Why am I never seeing? And I know a lot of us think that way. How come I seem like I'm doing everything right, but are you? Because here's one of the things we do at church. Woo, we get in the car with our friends and say, woo, we had a time at church. Woo, we had a time. Wasn't it good? Yeah. What did he preach? I don't remember. I know he sung something about the blood. The blood, they kept saying that blood over and over. Okay, what did he preach? I don't remember. Right? I was pleased with church, but have we ever asked God when you got in the car, so do y'all think God was pleased with the service? Do y'all think God showed up? So here's Paul saying, I fought the good fight. And hear me, that's warfare language. I fought the good fight. Then faith is not passive. It's contested. I have finished the course is what he says. And that's assignment language. I've done my assignment. I've done the work that was told to me to do. I stayed on course. Most soldiers know this. I don't leave the finish line. I stay on the line no matter what. I'm on the front line. So God gave him something to do, and he stayed with it. Breathers online, breathers in the room. Have you stayed the course of what God has called you to do? Or when Pastor Gerald, Pastor Tammy, or your pastor at the church that you go to, but you end up going to all them other churches, your pastor tell you to be still. In this season, I need you to be still. I don't like that. Sometimes you're being tested to see if you can handle a situation the way the situation. If I tell you to sit down, I'm gonna do this, Pastor Tent, because I am this kind of person, just so you know. My pastor told me this a few weeks ago, about a month ago, about me he was giving me a test, and I didn't even know I was taking a test. He said, Pastor Gerald, you took a test today. I said, I did? I said, yeah. I said, how did I do? You ready for the answer? You failed. That's what I said. I said, what? How did I fail? He said, oh, you failed with flying colors. But then when he began to tell me what the problem was, I said, oh, I didn't know. Now that I know, give me the test again. Because now I have the answer to the test. A lot of us get off and decide we're just going to write it. Some of y'all, don't tell on yourself, but you know when you was in school and they put the A, B, C, D, E, you just circle one, and you just start just circling anything because you're ready to go. You ready to go? Your what was they called? The SATs. Taking your SATs, we just go in there to write anything, and you know you're just writing anything. Because we're not prepared for the test. But a person who's really prepared for the test say, I'm here to fight. I'm here to stay. I ain't moving. I ain't going nowhere. Tell me what to do. Tell me what time to be there. Tell me what I need to do. Because watch this. I'm going to pass this test. And I'm a good soldier. Let me tell you why. I'm ready for that next test. Try me again. I told him, I said, try me again and watch me pass it with fine colors. So God gave him something to do, and he stayed with it. He says, I have kept the faith. Truth was entrusted to him, and he guarded it. Paul guarded it. So what Paul is really saying here is, I don't just believe this. Hakeem, he said, I live this. I'm here for this. I protect it to the end. I'm staying the course. I'm not getting off track because it don't look the way I want it to look. God gave me instructions, and I'm following it to a T. And I can respect anybody who follows directions to a T, because I'm a person who don't follow them to a T. I'm the person who thinks I color outside the lines. So you have to have somebody on your team that stays inside the lines, because I'm the person who want to pull you outside of the lines. I see you, Keith. Don't shake your head like that. That's too hard. Too much agreement. Don't agree that much. Close your eyes. Don't let me see it. So let's keep it 100, y'all. Everybody that starts with Jesus does not finish with him. Everybody who's in this room who got up this morning and say, oh, I follow Jesus, is not going to finish with him. But in 2 Timothy 4:10, I got to share this with y'all. There's a guy who was walking with Paul by the name of Demas. And in that scripture, he says, having loved this present world, he's deserted me. So let me tell y'all about Demas real quick, because I had to find out who Demas was. Demas was actually in the inner circle. Demas hung around everybody Paul hung around with. The good, the bad, the ugly. In Colossians 4:14, Paul calls him a fellow worker. This is my fellow worker. In Colossians 1:24, Demas is listed alongside all the ministry heavyweights. Wow. That's who Demas is. So that means Demas walked with Paul when he saw miracles, helped build the church, the early church. Here's what Demas was. He was trusted. I'm going to land that there. I'm going to let that sit for a minute. He was trusted. He was trusted to walk with Paul. It's my fellow worker. It's my man. He seen me do his work. He saw me putting this church together. He saw me putting systems together. He saw me doing it all. 5-hour conversation of just putting it together, right? But Demas made a choice. He said when he knew that Paul was about to die, he says, I'm not dying with this man. I only go so far. I'm going to back up, and I'm going to go back to what was familiar, because back there, they weren't trying to kill me. And that's what a lot of us are doing in church today. We're going back because we asked you to come forward. Come on, let's build. Now listen, moving forward, let me tell you something. They're going to take shots at us. They're going to talk about us. They're going to scandalize your name. They're going to call you out. They're going to look up stuff. The moment you decide you want to run for office because I want to help somebody. I want to help my community. I want to be the governor. I want to be the mayor. I want to be the president. Do y'all see them videos and the commercials of people who were friends saying, it's one, I forgot his name, something Jackson. They've been beating him up, but Jackson been beating up the other guy. Jackson said he was for the people. Jackson ain't for the people. Jackson stole money. He's selling vapes in his gas station. I thought he was trying to do better. I said, these people, it get ruthless. When we fighting for a job, he was trusted. I trust you. The moment you want my job, well, I can tell you everything about him. Oh, they say they've been happy for 27 years, but you know I stay at their house. I be over at their house. They be cussing each other out. They be fighting, slamming doors. What? You don't want to go over there. Ruthless. So Demas went from being trusted to being a partner. And Paul has to say through all this, I have kept the faith. I didn't walk away. Demas did. God, do what you will with him, but I'm going to stay on the course. And that's the question I have for you all today, breathers. Can you stay in the race? And will you keep running no matter what? Can you stay the course when it's not going the way you want it to go? When it doesn't line up with your vision, but it aligns with God's vision. Yep, you going through. Yep. I don't know what's going to happen with this. I don't know what's going to happen with that. But God's saying, stay the course. Don't get off the train. Don't get off the plane. One of my favorite analogies I use all the time is when you get on a plane to go anywhere. Me and Pastor Tammy went to Indianapolis on Wednesday. Wow, that was somebody from Indianapolis? Because that was too excited for Indianapolis. They only got the Pacers. The Pacers they ain't won nothing. Anyway, we get on the plane. We sit down in our seats. They don't even tell us it's going to be bumpy taking off. It was only an hour and 30 minutes. But that plane probably shook 45 minutes of that flight. To the point I had to say, well, Lord, if you take us, Lord, I'm ready. Right? But going from here to there is going to take turbulence. It's going to take bumpy to the point they're going to have to say, sit down, put the seatbelt on. It's going to be bumpy right up through here. Put the carts up. They even said, leave the trash in the thing. We'll get it when we land. But I didn't push no button saying, get me off this plane. I got to exit. No, you know what I did? I stayed the course. Why? I got proof. I had somewhere to be, and I got proof to y'all. I made it. You want the proof? You're looking at me. That was Wednesday. Thursday, we got back on the plane. Same thing happened. And guess what? I made it home safely. All I'm trying to tell somebody is finish strong. Tell somebody finish strong. Finish strong. I'm almost done. That's not words that sound easy. Those are strong words I've been using. They sound confident. They sound settled, the words that Paul was saying, but if you knew and understood where Paul was when he wrote these letters to Timothy, you probably would think different, because he's not writing from a place where everything worked out. He's writing from a Roman dungeon in the Mamertine prison in Rome. Do you have a picture? This is the closest I could find to what they said it looked like. It looked like a circle cave, and you couldn't just, you know how jail is today, persons, y'all walk them in, open the door, and they walk in. No, it don't look like that. You had to be lowered into this. It was a hole in the ground. It was a dark, tight, cold place. They didn't put a top over it, so if it rains, he's getting rained on. No windows. You like me? I'm claustrophobic. No light. No easy way out. Even if they want to come get me out, they got to lower something to come get me. They didn't walk him in. They lowered him in, and that's where he writes. Sitting in a jail in the dark, no windows, no light. So when Paul says, I have fought the good fight, I have finished the course, I have kept the faith, he's not speaking from comfort. He's not speaking from an air-conditioned church. I don't care what side. Quit complaining about your house. If you have a house to walk around complaining in, you need to find the blessing in it. If you got a one-bedroom apartment, if you got a studio, if you can touch the stove, actually, that's real convenient. You can just be in your chair and you can open the refrigerator and grab it. That's pretty convenient. You better find the joy in that thing, you hear me? He's not speaking from comfort. He's actually speaking from confinement. And a lot of y'all have big houses and you can find in your mind. You in jail just like Paul was, but the only difference with you and Paul is still writing saying, I fought the good fight. Y'all saying, I'm just stuck in jail. I'm never going to leave this place. Nope, I can't get out of this. I can't get out of this. And I think sometimes we built a version of faith that only works when life is working the way we've decided we want it to work. It's the way we want it to work. We have conditioned it, just like y'all do in life. All y'all got these, especially women, and y'all correct me if I'm wrong. Y'all could be like, y'all actually get the right to say, no. But y'all know good and well, the day y'all was playing with Barbie and Ken, y'all was ready to get married, right? Y'all start writing these lists of what he got to look like. He has to be 6'2", chocolate. He has to, back in the 80s, he had to have a Jerry curl. He got to be driving a Trans Am. That was in the 80s. Y'all know about Camaro. He got to be driving something. He got to be able to take me where I need to go. Then he come up, his credit score got to be, it can't be lower than a 720. If it, no. These are the things. That's our list. But it's that God list. God's list says he can be 5'2". Quit shaking your head, Ashley. He could be 5'2". Here's the good thing about 5'2". They make lift for the shoes. It'll bring you up. You see that? $5'2". I don't want no Jerry curl. God says, well, I want to make him, he can have a low haircut, but he will have a bald spot in the middle. And I may be nice to let him get to 5'7", 5'8". His credit score right now is a 480. He still live with his mother. Hold on. Y'all already like, I'd rather stay single. He got a job, but ain't the job that I want him to have. But God said, I gave him a job. He works. He gets up every morning to go to work. Actually, he makes breakfast for his entire family to live in the house. And he works. He has a car. Ain't the one that you want him to have yet, but he got a car. But here's the best thing about this man that I've designed for you. He's faithful. He's going to consider you in all things. That's at the bottom in the fine print. But a lot of us get mixed up with the 5'2". Short hair with a little bald spot. You know, back in the day, light skin was in. So he had to be light skinned. But he's too dark, but God got dark skin up at the top. So you put all these parameters, and this is what God's list looked like. And at the end, he says he's going to be faithful. Y'all going to have beautiful children. He's going to love me first, and then he's going to love you. He's going to make sure that everything, he won't eat to make sure you eat. He'll go without to make sure you have. But that's down here. We don't make it this far because by 4 or 5, that's not our list. You better change that list, Dominique. You better, listen, you better hold. I saw somebody, a couple on Instagram the other day, and I watched all their videos too. He had to be this. If she was my height, he had to be this tall. And he said, come on, baby. He said, we celebrate our 20-year anniversary. Y'all better get off that height stuff and go buy him 20 sets of lifts to put in his shoes. So my question is, what happens when it doesn't look like God, what God has for you? You praying for change, you praying for believing, and the door closed or never opens. When you're doing everything right and life still feels wrong. Do you still stay with God, or do you go back to the streets? Do you go back to the streets? Because that's what I know, easy money, easy money. But what comes with easy money? Struggle, because you have to always watch over your back. But walking with God, I ain't never got to look over my back. Never. Pockets may not be fat. May tell you I need 3 weeks to pay you, but it's coming. Everything. Do you still stay with God? Do you still trust God? Anybody in here trust God? Do you believe God? Right now, let's take 3 seconds and begin to clap your hands and shout to God with a voice of triumph if you believe God. That's where you're supposed to get me, DJ. If any man wishes to come after me, he must deny himself and take up his cross daily and follow me. For whoever wishes to save his life will lose it. But whoever loses his life for my sake, that's what God is saying, he is the one who will save it. Do y'all understand that? Following Jesus was never about adding to Paul's life. It was about giving him his life. Following Jesus is never about your life. What he can do for me is about here. What can I do for you? What do you want me to do? How do I do it? How do I get closer? The reason you get more is when you say, how can I bless you? How can I give to God? How can I do this? It's not about your house. It's not about your car, your desires to be married or not, your money. It's not. It's about God and what he has on the inside of you that needs to be poured out. So you've been waiting. Everybody in here has something that God has designed for, even if you don't know it's what God has designed for you. The way you will know is God has you, it's like a burden. It's like a burden. It's a burden, like I gotta get it out. I gotta get it out. Jeremiah said it's like fire. Shut up in my bones. I gotta get this out. What is it? God been telling me to write a children's book. I gotta get it out. That's the burden. That's God. God been telling me to do so-and-so. Well, you may not say it's God. You just like, I don't know, but it's God. Something you've been dealing with all your life saying, God been telling me I'm supposed to build a senior citizen home, but I just don't have the finances right now. That's a burden. That's something God has placed in you to do. Hebrews 12:1-3 says, let us run this endurance, this race that is set before us, fixing our eyes on Jesus, who for the joy set before him endured the cross. So here's what's crazy. Even Jesus endured. He didn't avoid it. He could have. He endured. Here's what I want you to give me on the screen. Sister Tanya, if you back there, 2 Corinthians 11, 23 and 28. And I'm almost coming to my close. I done said that. That's the second time. Read this. Are they ministers of Christ? I speak as a fool. I more so, and much more, labor in prison more frequently. Paul is saying, I stay in prison. I stay in jail. I get beatings beyond measure in peril of death often. 5 times I received from the Jews 39 lashings. And if you ever got a whooping, especially from a black parent, you get at least 20 of those 39. They ain't counting, they just beating, they just going. He takes 39. 3 times I was beaten with rods. Once I was stoned. 3 times I was shipwrecked. A night and a day I have spent in the deep. In journeys often in perils of rivers, in perils of robbers, in perils from my countrymen, in perils from the Gentiles, in perils in the city, in perils in the wilderness, in the perils on the sea, in perils among false brethren. Demas, I have toiled hard and labored. I've toiled hard and labored, often in sleepless nights, in hunger and thirst, often without food, in cold and exposure. Besides the things outside, there is that which comes up upon me daily, the pressure of my concern for all the churches. This man just said in here, if y'all, that was loaded. I've been beaten. I've been talked about. The song beaten, lied on, cheated, talked about, bruised. That's what just happened to Paul. And guess what? At the last part, the pressure of my concern for all the churches. He still was thinking about what God told him to do after going through all of that. I still have to figure out, making sure I empty out, I pour out, I finish strong. So my question is, what do you do when God is quiet and you're in jail in your mind? What do you do when you're asking and you're like, Lord, I need, and he's hearing you, but not responding back? That's where our faith actually get tested. Not when God is moving in the direction we feel like he is. Oh, God bless me today. I woke up with some extra money in my account. Oh, I did this today. I feel so good. God is so good, so good. God is so good, so good. We say that all day. God is so good. God is so good. But what happens when he don't feel good? What happens when it doesn't feel good? Not when everything is great. You still have to believe that he's going to show up. Paul didn't drift into strong faith. He built it. He didn't just randomly slide into strong faith. He built it. He did it daily. He did it daily. He was in his word. He was praying. He came to Bible study. He came to prayer at 7 a.m., 701-779-9732. Every Wednesday, he came to prayer. He had accountability. Who's speaking into your life? Who's holding you accountable? What are you feeding your spirit? What are you building on the inside of you? Because weak input creates weak endurance. Weak input creates weak endurance. No input, no endurance. No input, no Bible, no reading your word, no finding wise counsel. You weak. A lot of y'all couldn't even make it if somebody told y'all something happened. Some of y'all I would never call to pray for me if I'm going through a situation. I'm being 100. I'm like, call so-and-so. Nope, not them. No, not them. They don't know how to pray. They don't know how to pray. I watch their life. It's proven they don't know how to pray. I had conversations with them. You ever had a conversation with a dumb person? No, hear what I'm saying? You be like, and you think in your head, they just dumb. Why would you say that? Why would you think like that? I ain't calling none of y'all dumb, so don't y'all take that and leave the church talking about he called us dumb. Online, don't y'all take that and say, I ain't call you dumb. I don't even know your name. Call you dumb. What I'm saying is, have you ever talked to somebody who lacked wisdom? Have you ever talked to an ignorant person? The other day I told somebody, I said, I'm ignorant in that right there. And the reason why I said it, because you know what the word ignorant is? We took it as a culture and said, somebody called me, don't call me ignorant. You calling me stupid. No, I'm calling you unknowing. You just don't know. That's all it is. So if I said, hey, you're ignorant in that situation, who you talking to? No, you just don't know. So I called myself ignorant. I said, I'm ignorant to that right there because I don't know. But once you give me the information, now I know different. I can do different. I got 2 minutes left. We're speaking in your life. What's building on the inside of you? Because weak input creates weak endurance. Write that down. Keep that. I'm closing now. So now how do you plan on finishing strong, breathers? How do you plan on finishing strong? Because Paul didn't just believe in Jesus, he stayed with him. He didn't jump ship. He didn't put on a parachute when the turbulence came and say, I'm out, like Demas did. In darkness, he stayed. In broke, he stayed. When he couldn't get paid, he stayed. When he didn't know who was on his side, he stayed. When Demas left, he stayed. He stayed. Even in the unknown, I don't know where my next check comes from. I don't know where my next this coming from. I don't know how I'm going to make it. He stayed. So do you have staying power today? And I want to say this, and I'm ending now, right here. If nothing else in your life changes, will you have the stamina to stay with God? Do you have the stamina to stay with God? So I want to tell you today, tell somebody, finish strong. Now say it loud as you can. Say, finish strong. So I want to pray for you. Lift your hands right where you are. Begin to get a prayer posture on your lips and on your mind. The first thing we do when we talk to God is we thank him. So begin to thank God right now. Open your mouth, all you people, and begin to talk to God the way you talk to him. If you speak to him in your heavenly language, speak to him. I can't hear you. If I can't hear you, I know he can't. Come on. Father, there's a couple of hundred people in the room today that come to say thank you. God, there's a couple of hundred people today that's in the room and online today who've come to say, I'm sorry. There's a couple of hundred people in the room today, God, that come to say, I need you now more than ever. God, there's a couple of hundred people in the room today that's at the starting line who's ready for you to say go. And they're ready to go. So I ask you, God, to put the endurance in them that they've never had before. I ask you to take them from a 5 to a 10 quickly as possible that would make them sustain with you whatever you have given them. God, I ask you to pour out of them the thing that you have put in them. God, I ask you to renew the fire, put back the oil that you put in them from birth. God, I ask you to put vision back in them, because with vision, provision comes. So God, I ask you for the person who has their hands up right now to do what it is they are asking you to do, God. They will finish strong. We speak over their lives. We speak over their life. Strong endurance, strong endurance. Weeping may endure for a night, but I come to tell everybody in this room that joy is coming in the morning. So whatever they're dealing with, God, give them the strength